Looks like a few kids have had a party here. Bates would go bananas if he could see all this. According to the map, this stream's called Old Wansford. Why should I go into the middle of the woods? There might be bells behind the slats. In that case, they are small auxiliary bell towers. Worm Hill Church, 800 years old and no spire. Very unusual. Gravestones, without names. This certainly isn't a well-groomed graveyard. Most of the graves are overgrown with twining weeds and roots. That's the Gordon family crypt. The musty skeletons of my ancestors are just behind this door. I'm not interested in paying them a family visit. That's William Gordon's grave, my great-grandfather. He died in August 1981. No idea why he wasn't buried in the family crypt. The wall has collapsed right in the middle without having a demolition ball taken to it. It takes a few hundred years for that kind of thing to happen. Locked. That's probably the priest's house back there. This is where Miss Valley is buried, murdered by my cursed sister. Perhaps I should bring a few flowers the next time I visit. Ancient headstones. It looks like the design hasn't changed in hundreds of years. It's quite a recent grave. There are even a few flowers still lying on it. Locked. That's probably the priest's house back there. Bare wooden pews. Very inviting. They really make you want to kneel down and pray. There are some phrases from the Bible engraved in this. Behold the Lamb of God that taketh away the sin of the world, says John 1 verse 29. For to me to live is Christ and to die is gain, says Philip, also 1 verse 21. For many are called, but few are chosen. Matthew, blah blah blah. The Lord is with me, I will not be afraid. Psalms 118 verse 6. A huge stained glass window for optimum illumination. These European churches really are impressive buildings. America was probably still India in the minds of a few sailors when this one was built. Who's that? That doesn't look like the priest. Hey, you there. Good morning.
What the? Oh, I'm sorry, lad. I must have nodded off.
In the confession box?
The bench has a cushion on it, at least.
You're not the priest, are you?
God forbid. I'm Mark, the grave digger.
Do you know Wormhill well?
Of course, but it's just a few houses on the back of the woods. There's more life in here, I tell you. Are you looking for something in particular?
No, I'm just trying to get an idea of the place.
Looking around this graveyard would give you a better idea of the place. And should you want to reserve yourself a spot here, then let me know. I recommend the southern slope. That's the best location.
Thanks for the tip, but I'm in no hurry to die just yet.
But maybe death's in a hurry to come and get you.
What is it you actually do all day?
Answer stupid questions.
I mean, digging graves can't be all you do.
Yeah, you're right, lad. I don't just dig. I repair things too, keep the church in order, guard the graves. And if you think that the weeds grow on their own around here, then think again. It ain't weeds and it don't grow on its own. But who's interested anyway?
What did you mean by that? You guard the graves?
Well, because of the clientele. So they don't get dug up. By dogs and the like.
Which dogs?
Well, strays from around here. For them, a graveyard is like
An underground hot dog stand?
Yeah, exactly. With bloody tough sausages.
You must have a lot to do around here, being the gravedigger.
Oh, that's right. My job here is quite secure.
Can you tell me anything about the church?
What do you mean then, lad? Who built it? It certainly wasn't me, even if I might look that old. Must have been around the time Marcus Gordon was alive. Have you seen the dark part of the tower up there?
Yes.
He ran out of stone, and they say he took stones from his castle walls to finish it off. Demolished his own castle to finish the church.
A model Christian.
Perhaps his time was running out. Got himself buried in there in the end.
A crypt that's 100 feet tall with an altar and a bell tower, all for him alone. What a modest man.
All those toffs are. No, he treated himself to an extra crypt underneath the nave. But it caved in 12 years ago. Nobody can get in there anymore.
It's quite a woody area.
That's also supposed to be the reason it's such a bloody area.
The evil of the woods? People around here read too many horror stories.
Or have experienced it themselves. Have you been in the woods here at night?
No.
They say there's plenty to see. Murderous lords of the castle, the undead, Mordred's voracious hellhounds. There are many stories about it. Probably as many stories as there are people here.
The woods around Willow Creek strike me as being particularly creepy.
Yes, and the number of wild boars in there is uncanny. I've known them to trample down my fences to get at the clientele. But I've got some crafty traps set up. I'm looking forward to having a roast. The priest gave his permission.
There's a fresh grave in front of the church.
That'll be Sally's, the young cook from the castle. The poor thing was burned to death, just like old Bates. The fire didn't really make any difference. But Bates isn't here. Lady Victoria insisted on burying him in the Golden Crypt, like a member of the family.
Just like Lady Eleanor, I assume.
Yes, there's still plenty of space in the crypt. Lots of the Gordons haven't been buried there.
Why not?
Well, there are just too many murderers and suicides. They're frowned upon in Catholic graveyards, particularly the ones who commit suicide.
Why? What happens to them?
Well, they're buried anonymously, without any religious ceremony, without the ringing of the bells, without any prayers, without a priest, nothing. They're all buried before sunrise, over by the north wall.
Isn't that what they used to do hundreds of years ago?
Perhaps where you come from. But we're in Wormhill, the manor of Black Mirror Castle. Things are all a bit different around here, my lad.
You don't happen to know, being the gravedigger and all, where Samuel Gordon's grave is? He must have been buried in 1981.
That's a tough one, lad. So many people died here 12 years ago, good and evil alike, in the strangest of circumstances. I really can't remember who ended up where. You'd be better off talking to Father Frederick, the priest. Perhaps he can remember.
Where would I find the priest then?
Today? Well, you won't find him at all. He left around midday. Some conference or other. Supposed to be back by noon tomorrow, though.
I'd better be going.
Keep your eyes peeled, lad.
Oh, is it that late already? Those must be wild boars. There's supposed to be plenty of them around here. Or demonic hellhounds, as they say in the local fables. Whoa! I better get out of here fast if I don't want to get mauled. Up for too long. How come I'm not waking up? This must just be a nightmare. Have they gone? Calm before the storm? I think I better wait until those beasts have lost their appetite. looks as though the door's been bolted from the outside. But how can that be? An oil lamp. Doesn't seem all that old. Maybe it still works. An oil lamp. Doesn't seem all that old. Maybe it still works. Oh, that's better. I can see now. A peculiar shadow. A file. Huh. The escape tool of choice. In the comics, at least. Damn. Don't say somebody lives here. There's something lying under the bed, but I can't get at it. A couple of luminous smiley stickers. Whoever lives here must be scared of the dark. A padlock of the really sturdy variety. It's fastened shut. An old bucket. Oh, I hope that isn't the toilet. That almost looks the same as the shredder in the museum. There's something lying in it. It's soft, damp, and cold. Yuck. A rusty old garden implement. I'm guessing that's paint thinners or gasoline for cleaning stuff. Ugh, smells something like that at least. I think I know where that mysterious shadow's coming from. Well, how about that? And so the key falls into my possession. Gotcha. A cardboard box. Somebody scribbled something on the lid. I can't decipher it. The word definitely begins with an R, though. Let's take a look inside. A rag doll. Pretty ugly and worn out. I recognize it. I've seen it before. It was Ralph's. Yep, that's his doll. Mr. Bubby, or whatever he called it. Strange. How'd it get here? And why has Ralph left it? He never used to go anywhere without it. What else have we got? A luminous sticker with a smiley on it. And a cork from a bottle. This must be Ralph's shack. Or his hideaway. No thanks. I don't really want to know what's died in there. Fits. As I thought, full of junk. So let's have a look. Damn! That looks like one of the robes and the masks from the order that was after me. But at the same time, it's also proof that the order existed. I'll take it with me. There's some paper in the robe. Seems to be a letter to the Order, quite badly torn. Unable to stop the evil, already sacrificed. His objective, or something happens to me, no trace is to be... I'm not completely certain, but it appears to be a request to cover up all traces of the Order. That would explain why the robe is in the shack. I'll put it back. Perhaps I'll find something useful after all. A corkscrew and a yardstick. They look in reasonable shape. I'll take them. Whoa, a chainsaw. I've got a feeling that this baby's gonna come in handy. Another door. Let's see now. Was kinda obvious. There's storage behind it for logs. It stretches right to the door. There's no getting through here. Interesting. There's at least half a meter of space below the boards. The shack must have been built on stilts. The next time I'm being pursued by hellhounds and hide in a shack, I'll look out for that as I go in. There's no gas in the chainsaw. The tank's just about half full. Hopefully that'll be enough. Alright, that ought to hold. Now we can get going. I'll just cut myself a trapdoor in the floor. It can also be closed again in an emergency. Cool. I can sneak outside through the hole. Good. Let's try it. I'm better leaving the heavy junk here. Good. No wild beasts for miles. Weird. No tracks. The beasties couldn't have just disappeared into thin air. Oh, no!
Describe what you saw.
I saw myself as a child. I was playing with my sister in the woods. It's not far away from the castle. I could see it behind the trees. There was a man there, too.
Could you make out who it is?
No, he had his back to me. But something very bad has happened.
What's happened?
My sister, she's fallen in a hole. She's screaming. What should I do?
Adrian, you're not there anymore. Remember what you did at the time.
I ran to the hole, and I don't know. I can't remember. You woke me up before I could help her.
I didn't wake you up, Adrian. You woke up of your own accord. It would appear everything in you is trying to fend off this memory. Seems you really want to suppress it.
Or I just can't remember.
The memory is still there. You just need to let it happen.
It's easy for you to say.
Perhaps you should tackle this memory in a conscious state. Try and find the place in the woods that you saw. You need an anchor in the present.
If you say so.
And with regards to the hallucinations, I've ordered a medication. It should help to suppress them.
Very good, I'll take it. At least you can rely on conventional medicine.
Please take this prescription and give it to a buyer in the shop. She'll give you the medication.
Oh, she's a pharmacist too?
In a little village like this, everyone has more than one role.